Hello everyone, welcome back to another devotional. Today the title of our devotional is The Close of Probation. God has not revealed to us the time when this message will close or when probation will have an end. Those things that are revealed we shall accept for ourselves and for our children, but let us not seek to know that which has been kept secret in the counsels of the Almighty. Letters have come to me asking me if I have any special light as to the time when probation will close. And I answer that I have only this message to bear, that it is not now time to work while the day lasts, for the night cometh in which no man can work. The Lord has shown me clearly that the image of the beast will be formed before probation closes, for it is to be the great test for the people of God, by which their eternal destiny will be decided. Just before we enter it, the time of trouble, we all receive the seal of the living God. Then I saw the four angels seized to hold the four winds, and I saw famine, pestilence, and sword, nation rise against nation, and the whole world was in confusion. I saw angels hurrying to and fro in heaven. An angel with a writer's inkhorn by his side returned from the earth and reported to Jesus that his work was done, and the saints were numbered and sealed. Then I saw Jesus, who had been ministering before the ark containing the 10 Commandments, throw down the censer. He raised his hands, and with a loud voice, "It is done." Only a moment of time, as it were, yet remains. But while already nations is rising against nation and kingdom against kingdom, there is not now a general engagement. As yet the winds and are held until the servants of God shall be sealed in their foreheads. Then the powers of earth will marshal their forces for the last great battle. An angel returning from the earth announces that his work is done. The final test has been brought upon the world, and all who have proved themselves loyal to the divine precepts have received the seal of the living God. Then Jesus ceases his intercession in the sanctuary above. He lifted his hands and with a loud voice says, "It is done." When Jesus ceases to plead for man, the case of all are forever decided. Probation closes. Christ's intercession ceases in heaven. This time finally comes suddenly upon us, and those who have neglected to purify their souls by obeying the truth are found sleeping. When probation ends, it will come suddenly, unexpectedly, at a time when we are least expecting it. But we can have a clean record in heaven today and know that God accepts us. When the work of the investigative judgment closes, the destiny of all will have been decided for life or death. Probation is ended a short time before the appearing of the Lord in the clouds of heaven. Before the flood, after Noah entered the ark, God shut him in and shut the ungodly out. But for 7 days the people, knowing not that their doom was fixed, continuing their careless, pleasure-loving life and mocking the warnings of impending judgment, so says the Savior, shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Matthew 24 verse 39. Silently, unnoticed, as the midnight thief will come, decisive hour, unnoticed as the midnight thief will come, decisive hour which marks the fixing of every man's destiny, the final withdrawal of mercy offers to guilty men. While a man of business is absorbed in the pursuit of gain, while the pleasure lover is seeking indulgence, while the daughters of fashion is arranging her adornments, it may be in that hour the judge of all the earth will pronounce the sentence, "Thou art weighed in the balance and are found wanting." Daniel 5:27. The righteous and the wicked will still be living upon the earth, and their mortal state. In their mortal state, men will be planting and building, eating and drinking, all unconscious, and the final irrevocable decisions have been pronounced in the sanctuary above. When the irrevocable decision of the sanctuary has been pronounced, and the destiny of the world has been forever fixed, the inhabitants of the earth will know it not. The forms of religion will be continued by a people from whom the Spirit of God has been finally withdrawn, and the satanic zeal with which the Prince of Evil will inspire them for the accomplishment of his malignant designs will bear the semblance of zeal from God. The wheat and the tares grow together until the harvest. In the discharge of life's duty, the righteous will to the last be brought in contact with the ungodly. The children of light are scattered among the children of darkness, that the contrast may be seen by all. Christ declared that when he comes, some of his waiting people will be engaged in business transactions. Some will be sowing in the field, others reaping and gathering in the harvest, and others grinding at the mill. Skepticism, and that which is called science has to a large degree undermined the faith of the Christian world in their Bibles. Error and fables are gladly accepted, that they may pursue the path of self-indulgence and not to be alarmed, for they are striving not to retain God in their knowledge. They say, tomorrow we will be as this day, and much more abundant. But in the midst of their unbelief and godless pleasure, the shout of the archangel and trump of God is heard. When everything in our world is busy activity, immersed in selfish ambition for gain, Jesus comes as a thief. When the professed people of God are united with the world, living as they live, and joining with them in forbidden pleasure, when the luxury of the world becomes the luxury of the church, when the marriage bells are chiming and all are looking forward to many years of worldly prosperity, then suddenly as the lightning flash from the heavens will come the end of their bright visions and delusive hopes. When Lot warned the members of his family of the destruction of Sodom, they would not heed his words, but look upon him as a fanatical enthusiast. The destruction that came found them unprepared. Thus it will be when Christ comes. Farmers, merchants, lawyers, tradesmen will be wholly engrossed in business, and upon them the day of the Lord will come as a snare. When ministers, farmers, merchants, lawyers, great men, and professedly good men shall cry, peace and safety, sudden destruction cometh. Luke reports the words of Christ that the day of God comes as a snare, the figure of an animal prowling in the woods for prey, and lo, suddenly he is entrapped in the concealed snare of the fowler. When men are at ease, full of amusement, absorbed in buying and selling, then the thief approaches with stealthy tread. So it will be at the coming of the Son